Hi, welcome to This Week in Ames. I'm Susan Guiazda. On today's show, we'll check in with our City Council ex-officio representative. Well, my guest today is Sawyer Baker, the City Council ex-officio member, which means you represent Iowa State on our City Council. A lot of things going on, a lot of things on your plate right now. Sawyer, tell us a little bit about being the ex-officio member on the City Council.
Well, primarily my job is to be the liaison between the City of Ames and the government of the student body. So I inform the City Council of what GSB is doing, but I also inform GSB of what the city is doing. But then I also take up projects on the side that either improves the quality of life for students or citizens of Ames in general.
Now, this is a position that hasn't been around for a long time. Students typically serve about a year in it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's correct. I started end of last April, so that'll be wrapping up here very quickly.
And then you're not actually voting at the council meetings, but your opinion, you tend to talk about particularly issues that relate back to students.
Right. So I do make a point that if the issue is directly related to students or would uniquely impact them, I do voice my opinion, even though I can't vote. But I still, contribute to the dialogue, and I feel that my opinion is taken very seriously.
And then you mentioned back the liaison back to the government of the student body, which means also you serve a role there.
Right. I serve on the president's cabinet. They have about a 15-member cabinet that are either director of, student affairs or new students or even director of diversity. So I serve the role as City Council liaison on that cabinet.
And have you been involved in GSB for several years, or was that your first year?
Yes, I had been involved in the past. I was a senator for the Liberal Arts and Sciences College. I also chaired the University Affairs Committee, which is a subcommittee of GSB Senate. So I've been involved in GSB for the past 3 years.
Okay, so tell me a little bit about your major. Is this connected in some way?
It is. I'm a double major in political science and sociology. So I'm all in the liberal arts college and like to serve the students there and the general population of students.
Well, one of the interesting things about being the City Council liaison is that you do get involved in specific projects, and one of them that you picked up recently is the renovation of the Greek Triangle. Tell us a little bit about that project.
Right, so this project has been in the making for years. It preceded my time on GSB, but when I was a senator, we had actually had a bill come through Senate to help finance part of the project. So GSB did contribute money as well as the City of Ames Neighborhood Improvement Grant, but we also have so many other players like the ISU Greek Community, the Greek Alumni Alliance, the Office of Student Affairs, and just general consensus that something needed to be done with this space in the Greek community.
Yeah, now this was kind of an area that was of concern. Mm-hmm. Give us a visual. It's there's a lot of twisty streets back south of campus, and where exactly is the space?
Right, it's right in the heart of what would be called Sorority Circle. So it is surrounded on all sides by pretty much Greek houses and the surrounding neighborhood. So it's just south of campus.
So Sunset and Pearson
yes.
Avenue. And what happens is those streets are boulevards, so they're
right.
they're two lane in each direction, and
right.
you end up with these kind of strange little islands.
Right.
And this one was actually quite a large-sized island
yeah.
right in the middle. Was just really grass.
Yeah, grass. Some vandalism would occur there, especially late at night, and it was kind of a concern, to the community or even, policing the area. And so these improvements would very much lower the impact of that.
So to get a neighborhood improvement grant, that requires a commitment of time or talent from the neighbors. Mm-hmm. So there was monetary contributions,
right.
but also people got involved.
Right, in spring of 2011 now, a couple years ago, we had a whole group of volunteers that came together and broke ground on a weekend. And we had students, we had community members, city members, city officials, everyone out there. They actually laid the bricks, they laid the gravel, planted little trees. So it was definitely a community effort.
And who designed the little space?
The Student Society of Landscape Architects actually had made the plans and proposed them to multiple people. The Student Affairs Commission, the City Commission in particular, were the final approval of those plans. So students helped in every aspect, which is great.
Which is interesting. It sort of reminds me of a similar project not too far away, just a couple of blocks away on the corner of Chamberlain and Welch. There was Campus Town Court, also a student-designed, almost a pocket park. The spacing, the size of the space seems similar in both of these incidents, but you have so much collaboration. It's really amazing how many groups got involved.
Right, and it's so great. And while it has taken many years to get this project together, I think it started off with a steering committee and then kind of laid dormant for a little bit until funding came together. But it is a great collaboration. I mean, city parks, they're symbols in the community. They're not just a place for gathering. They are a tie to the community, and it really did tie the entire Iowa State, City of Ames, and Greek community all together.
And so the area, like you mentioned, is landscaped. It has a little trash receptacle. It's got nice brick and limestone, some pillars. And I understand you have some recognition event planned.
The event will be taking place April 7th at 4 p.m. at the Greek Triangle, and we'll have the ribbon cutting ceremony where everyone that contributed, whether in volunteering times, monetarily, or just in general, can all come and enjoy the new space.
So a public event. I'm sure the neighbors would be excited to come and help celebrate that with you in conjunction with Greek Week.
Right, so it'll actually happen the last Sunday of Greek Week. It's a week-long, celebration in the Greek community, and we have everything from lip sync, which is kind of a musical, theatrical performances. By all the pairings, we have things such as Greek Olympics, which take place outside in the heart of Greek community all around this triangle. And that Sunday is the award ceremony that night called Vespers, where we find out who won Greek Week, who contributed the most community service hours, in every aspect of Greek Week. So it'll just precede that, and it'll be a great celebration to wrap up the week.
Wow, so much stuff going on in April. Always a big popular month. Greek Week leads sort of into Visha, and then we're kind of on the downhill slide to the end of the semester.
Right.
Sawyer, what's in the plans for you? What happens when you graduate?
I will be attending the George Washington University in Washington, D.C., pursuing a Master's of Public Administration.
So you're not going to continue as our ex-officio?
Unfortunately not. I wish I could, but I think it'll be in good hands leading forward, and this position is very unique, and it's definitely utilized by the city and the students, so it's a wonderful position to be in.
Great. Well, thank you for stopping by.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
If you'd like to get involved at the final stages of the flood mitigation study, remember that last public meeting is April 10th. If you can't make the April 10th meeting, remember the entire presentation is online, as well as a spot to leave your comments and a place to leave your email address for future updates. Well, that's our show for today. Thanks for watching, and tune in next week for This Week in Ames.